An open tract of farmland is a precious thing. Once you put houses on farmland, it's never coming back. A wind turbine on a piece of land improves the bottom line for a farmer, and they can keep farming.
In communities that had wind farms, those people that were receiving wind farm income were more likely to say that they were going to pass their farm on to a child, or that they had developed a succession plan and they knew who they were going to pass their farm on to.
How much would having a wind turbine or 2 wind turbines help a farmer, do you think?
Oh, it helped pay the taxes. You know, basically. I mean, basically, we pay probably almost $20,000 in property taxes. It depends on how much land you own, of course, and how much you're going to sign up.
A lot of the people that are fighting against the wind turbines want to keep it rural, but if it's not sustainable, it can't stay rural.
You know, you want to preserve farmland, which is a big issue. Well, you know, it's really hard to be a farmer now. And so any little thing that would help bring in some cash flow, we would be grateful for it. It would help us.
The small, especially small dairy farmers, smaller, those guys could use that extra income. The price of milk goes up and down. You know, everybody wants to save the family farm, but if these guys don't catch a break every now and then, what's going to be left in this country is all big.
After the usable life of a solar project, it's real easy to pull those solar panels and the racking system back out, and then you have viable farmland again for that landowner. And that's important because, first of all, they're not using the amount of chemicals on that land any longer while the solar panels are there. They do plant vegetation that actually usually has deeper roots, and so you're nourishing the soil more by pulling the water and the nutrients down into the soil. And I've had soil agronomists tell me that soil ends up being better after a solar project has been there than it ever was before, because you're relaxing the soil and letting it rejuvenate on its own.
There has to be some compromise. And we have to understand that, yeah, we want to preserve farm. Well, then you're going to have to give a little bit so that farmer can make enough money to keep that farm. Otherwise, he's going to have to sell his farm, and it's going to be sold to investors who don't even maybe live in this country. Then they're going to control that land. But also it's going to be sold to housing developments. You know, we have a battery factory that's coming into Big Rapids from here. So that's going to make this area here prime area for building.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're rural. And yes, we want to keep it rural, but if we can bring in some extra money for our township and for farmers, well, even those that maybe just own a couple of acres, they get paid for the wind blowing over their ground. That helps them pay their property tax. I mean, we're getting into a economic situation here where anytime we can make a little extra money on our land without selling it.
Not all land is farmable, whether you're trying to graze animals on it or you're trying to farm it for crops. And so why not utilize it for a form of energy, wind turbines or solar energy, whatever that is, for something that's needed?
You know, it would have helped a smaller guy keep his land in the family if that's what he chose to do so. There's enough big guys out there that would gobble up their land, but these smaller family farms, they don't necessarily want to be gobbled up.
If we want to keep going as farmers, we have to have the ability to use our land how we want to.
We wanted to make sure that they had the opportunity to realize a revenue that was going to enhance their operations currently, as well as making sure that they could pass it on to the next generation. We did view very much that the wind farm development was an ag preservation opportunity and tool, and that's exactly what it's proven to be.
I think there's farmers out there that are struggling, and I think this revenue would have helped them. Well, I can think of 2 parcels. Actually, I can think of 3 parcels. 2 of them are in our own township, you know, that they're selling parcels off of their land so that they can catch up on their bills so they don't lose everything. And the one parcel, it was a centennial farm. It'd been in the family. But they're having to sell off so many acres, so they can pay off all their other bills and survive.
Who's going to buy it? Developers, housing developments. Then you'll have suburbs. When you get suburbs, more people move in, more people want more amenities. More amenities means shopping centers, doctor's offices, all that stuff. Then you're going to have paved roads, and then you're going to have more schools, so more taxes. You're going to keep raising the taxes, then you're going to be like Grand Rapids. So you go down by Woodland, on the backside of Woodland Mall, it's all farmland, and then on the other side of the road, it's all city and restaurants and shopping centers, and it's slowly encroaching out.
The whole thing is a catch-22. The more people, the more sewers, more police, more fire, more everything.
These are a step in the right direction. They're not a user of tax government personnel. I mean, I don't need extra police because I've now got $90 million worth of turbines. I don't need extra fire department. I don't have ambulance calls. I don't have to build schools because somehow they bring kids with them. They just sit there and provide a benefit of life and a quality of life for everyone else.